as I was studying piano, I actually studied with Gilly Coggins for a minute over at the New School. And Gilly Coggins had me sub a gig for him. And it happened to be a gig where they wanted someone to play organ. And so, of course, I fell on my face and, I couldn't really handle it. And so from there, I said, let me try and dig into this and figure out how to play some organ. And that's when I started to dive into Jimmy Smith, Larry Young, Charles Earland, Chester Thompson, all the cats, Tower Power, everyone who had organ. I would start checking that out and started practicing, started getting organs. And then I became obsessed with it, and to the point where it was my religion. It was my fix, just to play some organ, and that's how Organ Monk was initially born. Piano first, and so as I was diving into organ, of course, that Larry Young playing Monk's Dream with Elvin Jones duet, it was like I used to listen to that for about a year straight, just listening to how him and Elvin were dealing, and that really struck a chord because I love Thelonious Monk. I've been playing Monk since a kid, basically, because my father had the records, and so I started putting all those Monk tunes that I had in my arsenal on, play them on the organ, and they became a different a beast, a different entity. The organ, of course, when you play all those dissonant chords on piano, it's a beautiful thing. But when you play them on the organ, and you're able to hold it longer and stretch it out because of the electronics of the sound of the Hammond organ, it makes it a different beast. It becomes a whole different thing on its own. I named my first album Organ Monk, and it was kind of a play on words, but I'm playing the organ, and yes, I'm playing Thelonious Monk's music, but I kind of considered myself to be an organ monk because just the way a monk dedicates his life in studying their religion or their spirituality, and they give up certain foods and women. I lost a wife playing this music, studying organ, and doing what and so I consider myself to be the organ monk, if not the first organ monk. Maybe I'll start a cult. You got to sit at that organ and you have to study it, and when it comes time to studying an instrument or especially a piece like the organ, 4, 5, 6 hours, sometimes 8 hours a day, sometimes 12 hours a day, you start to neglect other things in your life, and you have to be willing to neglect other things in your life in order to gain that control, because that organ won't let you have it if you mess around thinking you can just practice a little bit and get by. Oh, I play piano, I can jump on the organ. Nah. I don't think it's complicated, but I don't think it's complicated because I've heard it since I was in the womb, as my mother says. My father was always playing his music, whether he was playing it on the piano because he was a pianist, or listening to it, and that's what I used to go to sleep to. And so, to me, that was the first thing. Hearing his when I was playing piano, hearing the way he phrased came easy to me, as opposed to when I have other musicians sit in or come in and try and read the music. They're For some reason they find it very difficult to read on the spot and phrase. And then I'm talking about people who could really read well. Is the phrasing and the way they read it. They say, okay, I need to live with it for a minute. So I find it not difficult, but people say it's difficult. The more I study the music, the more in studying him, it's pretty phenomenal that how he voiced the chord changes and how he dove into it. And I mean, I hate to use that term so much, as a lot of people like to throw the word around genius a lot, but I think you have to use that when it comes to him.